Niyati.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a data engineer.
And what's a day in the life of a data engineer?
We essentially process data and give it to the management so that they can take good decisions.
How many years of experience do you have and how much do you make?
I have about 1.5 years of experience and I make about 100K a year.
What steps does someone need to take to become a data engineer?
To be honest, I'm a chemical engineer, but yeah. So I did a lot of courses, like online courses on machine learning and data science and essentially BigQueries, which helped a lot with getting the current job. So,
What qualities does someone need to have to excel as a data engineer?
curiosity, actually. You need to be ready to, learn about BigQuery. You need to be able to learn about the relevant skills, and you need to be up to date in terms of what you're learning, because there are times when something becomes obsolete and you can't use it anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, it moves fast.
Yeah, very fast, actually.
And what's your favorite thing about your job?
Oh, data exploration. I love just digging into the current data that we have, and yeah, I just enjoy it.
Super.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm an urban planner, work in housing development.
How did you get into that?
Basically, I'm pretty passionate about city planning and transit planning, so that kind of got me into it.
How many years of experience and how much do you make?
So it's just my first year, and I make around 47K a year.
What steps did you take to become an urban planner?
So I just went to school for urban planning. I don't know why. And that's pretty much all I've done so far, but I do plan on getting my master's soon, and also in urban planning.
And what qualities does someone need to have to excel as an urban planner?
Well, I'd say you kind of need to be a little passionate about it, because it's not something that everybody can do. You also need to be patient, because it's a very slow and annoying process to get permits and stuff. So yeah, that's all I'd say.
What's your favorite thing about your job?
Well, that I get to do something I love, and my company also basically deals in kind of just providing affordable housing for people who can't afford housing. So that's pretty good, because I'm basically just helping people out.
Puneet.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a risk consultant with PwC.
And what's a day in the life as a risk consultant?
It's assessing both internal and external risk for your clients. So you have to be available for your clients, and little as in, I'd say, hectic, as well as little challenging as well.
How many years of experience do you have and how much do you make?
So I have a 10-year experience. I make somewhere around 100K.
And what steps did you take to become a risk consultant?
That you do CIA, which is Certified Internal Auditor, and to work within the risk consulting practices of the firms. So to get hired in campus placements directly into risk consulting branches of the companies.
What qualities does someone need to have to be successful as a risk consultant?
The person should be committed, hardworking, disciplined, as well as should have eye for details, and should understand and ask relevant questions.
What's your favorite thing about your job?
There are new situations daily, and which we have to deal with, and there are a lot of impromptu questions from the clients which we have to be prepared for.
So it's always different every day.
Yeah.
Danielle.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a financial planner.
What's a day in the life as a financial planner?
So I help clients with budgeting, figuring out what their financial goals are and how to meet them.
How many years of experience do you have and how much do you make?
In this role, about 5 years, total about 25. I make about 150,000.
And what steps did you take to get to your position?
So I have to have an investment advisor's license, a stockbroker's license, insurance licenses. Takes about 2 years of training.
What qualities does someone need to have to be successful in your career?
So they have to have a head for numbers, obviously, and be really empathetic, good listener, able to build relationships, someone who's really good at interviewing, actually, because you're helping people determine what their goals are and then helping them find steps to solve those problems.
Okay, I see. And last question, what's your favorite thing about your job?
Working with people.
Working with people?
Yeah. Making people feel more comfortable.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Aaron.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm in executive search.
What's a day in the life look like as an executive search?
Talk to companies, talk to clients, talk to candidates, find them good jobs, find companies good candidates, and let them work it out.
How many years of experience do you have and how much do you make?
I got 3 years of experience, $120.
What steps did you take to get into your role?
I was in sales for a while, Been around the business all my life, so I don't know. Business degree, something like that. Yeah.
What qualities does someone need to have to excel in your industry?
Thick skin. Thick skin. Yeah. Thick skin and just tell it as it is, be real. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about your job?
Clients I work with, speaking to people on a daily basis, kind of the interaction.
Just like the social networking?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kaustubh.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a software engineer.
And what's a day in the life of a software engineer?
A lot of coding, a lot of answering questions, bunch of that kind of stuff.
How many years of experience do you have and how much do you make?
I have 4 years of experience. I make roughly 100K.
And what qualities does someone need to have to excel in your career?
Just basic problem solving. That's what is required most of the time. Yeah.
If someone wants to become a software engineer, what steps should they take?
Oh, that's not something that I can answer because I kind of fell ass backwards into this. Like, I studied for engineering and now I'm doing nothing related to that. So,
What kind of engineering did you study?
chemical engineering.
Oh, so you completely switched up.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite thing about your job?
That I get to help people. Like a lot of people have a lot of questions that about how you use something, how you use certain applications, and that's what I answer.
Burhan.
And what do you do for a living?
So I do two things. I'm the CEO of a company called Six Social. We're an entertainment group. And then my day job, I do sales for alternative financing.
How did you start Six Social?
I actually started promoting in university, just promoting events and that kind of stuff, partying a lot. I went to Western, so you can understand just how... Yeah, you get the vibe. So yeah, through partying and stuff, I realized that, hey, we can make money doing this. And then the co-founders of the company, Six Social, I didn't co-found it. The two co-founders reached out to me because they saw some potential, I guess. And I started working with them, killed it in promoting, ended up becoming director of operations for the entire business, and now took over as CEO.
And what was your second thing you were doing?
Oh, so I do alternative financing. So I'm in sales. What we do is we do debt financing for startups. Yeah, and that's a company called FundSquire.
What steps did you take to get into that?
I mean, being an entrepreneur, I always was interested in helping startups grow because I myself have a startup. So that was a draw-in for me. I studied finance in university, so that was interesting. And naturally, I'm a pretty outgoing, I think I'm a well-spoken person, I don't know. So I thought sales was the right fit. So now I go out and try to find companies that need funding, and if they're the right fit, we fund them.
And how much do you make per year?
So with all the ventures combined, like if you count my business as well as my day job, probably somewhere around 150.
And what qualities does someone need to have to excel in doing what you're doing?
Oh, time management, man. It's all about time management. Like if you schedule your entire life and make sure that you're following that, that's it.
And what's your favorite thing about what you do?
The partying. Yeah.
A lot of partying going on.
Yeah, lots of partying going on for sure.
Mark.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a data analyst at Stablecorp, which is a stablecoin sort of provider to big financial institutions. We help them with a lot of tech enablement.
I see. What steps did you take to get into this role?
So I did my master's in analytics, and I had an internship during that where I worked at a venture firm that got acquired by a hedge fund, where both times I was working with my current boss, and then one of the venture companies, Stablecorp, took off, and so we ran with that, and we raised some money, and we're doing good.
Now you're here.
Now I'm here. It's been a long road. It's been an interesting road. It's been fun, though.
It does sound fun. My next question is, how much do you make?
So I make in the sort of 80 to 120 bands, and I have some equity on top of that, too.
What qualities does someone need to have to excel at doing what you're doing?
I think an appetite for finding unique solutions to things that might not really exist in the world at that moment. And also an understanding, obviously like a technological background and being able to program and do all that kind of stuff is important for what I do. But I think more than that, just, being willing to try and find problems and being willing to ask people when you find the limits. I think those are probably the two biggest things. Also, a lot of finance background helps as well.
My last question is, what's your favorite thing about what you do?
I have a lot of freedom to explore really interesting opportunities and really fun things, and I'm really thankful for that. Also, the people I work with are amazing.
Cryptolia.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm in the crypto space. Investor, trader, and launching a crypto academy soon.
What's a day in the life look like as a crypto investor, trader, so on?
So I wake up, I network, I look at the market, and then I focus on the academy. So basically the academy, it's going to be about crypto, NFTs, metaverse, Web3, and how to teach people to make money online.
And how much do you make?
You're really asking me that?
Yeah, I gotta ask you that.
Over 200K.
Over 200K?
Yeah.
Okay, and what steps did you take to break into the crypto space and do what you do?
Well, basically, I started off just as an investor. I started off investing in Bitcoins and Ethereums. And after that, I got into the altcoin market and continued investing, and it just grew.
And what qualities does someone need to have to excel at doing what you do?
I would say networking. Like, don't underestimate the power of a good conversation with the right person. For me, that was my trick. I started networking with people in the space, and it really advanced me in everything that I was doing.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Networking is really like...
It is. It's amazing. You got to be patient. Don't be greedy. Do your research. Like, don't invest in the hype. You know, you got to invest in the type of values that you believe in. At the end of the day, that's what's the most important.
Yeah. My last question is, what's your favorite thing about what you do?
My favorite thing is that cryptocurrency is worldwide, and it really gives the ability to people that don't have access to banks to become their own bank, just by having a cell phone and a way to get the money on the network. That's like the most beautiful thing for me. It's like just giving people access to this beautiful technology.
No, I agree. It's literally like revolutionary.
Exactly.
Shahir Malik.
And what do you do for a living?
I make people's brands better by helping them build continually. So marketing, in one word.
How did you get into that?
I realized I enjoy talking to people, so started off in sales, needed money as a teenager. And when you need money, what do you sell? You sell other people's products. Eventually, you find a better business that you can work with, and you find something that is actually benefiting the community around you.
And how much do you make a year doing this?
I think it depends on the month. There's sometimes where it's a 5-figure month. Some days some months it's let's say negative 5 figures. It really depends. But overall, I think in a good year, it could be 100 plus. Bad year, it could be considerably less than that. So, we pray to God, and He helps us out.
And what steps does someone need to take to get into doing what you're doing?
I think it's just consistency. I think anybody can do it. I genuinely mean that. And I know a lot of people say that, but an astrophysicist, not everybody can do that. I believe I'm in marketing. You can do anything you set your mind to, and it's like sales, right? To a certain extent, you make that template, you follow that procedure, and once it works out for you, it works out for you.
And what qualities does someone need to have to excel, to like be the top 1% at marketing?
The top 1%. Now that's there's going to be varying answers to that. That being said, I think it's once again consistency, but you have to be able to fail. I think marketing, you fall down 10 times, you might have to get up 11. It's one of the only businesses that I've seen where you're gonna do A/B testing. So it's something what we do is you test what works and what doesn't, but you do it in every single part of the business. You do it in your entire life. Every part of it comes down to seeing what works and seeing what doesn't.
Yeah, I think A/B testing applies like life.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with you, and I'm glad we're on the same page, because it doesn't matter. You could be a carpenter, you could be a tailor, and unless you've made a suit wrong, you will never know how to make it correctly. No, would you agree with that?
100%. My last question is, what's your favorite thing about what you do?
I get to choose who I work with, and that's so.
That's a big one.
Exactly. So I got bored a couple years ago, and we decided to work with car dealerships because I like cars. See, would I have ever imagined myself doing that otherwise? Do I like car dealerships? No. No, I think it's sets a bad precedent for a lot of the industry. That being said, you get to choose who you work with after you've made it a little bit. So
Gordon Buffton of Genius Creators.
And what do you do for a living?
I help geniuses connect and create the future.
And what's a day in the life look like helping geniuses connect?
So a day in the life looks like waking up between 3 and 5 and just whiteboarding. I always have a whiteboard marker. If I'm in a hotel room, I just like write all over the mirrors and the windows and stuff. And then usually after doing that for 3 or 4 hours, I do my writing. So I write 1,000 words every day. I'll go for a walk and like break stuff up. And then when I get back, I reach out. I do 100 Instagram DMs every single day. And so I'm reaching out to people, seeing how I can create value for them. Then usually at about 12, I'm hungry. Or in the morning, I'll have a smoothie, whether a green drink. I'll have lunch, some meat, and then I like start my calls, and I have office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 5. So people reach out to me. I don't do scheduled calls. People just reach out. Like today, I came to this networking event, but I had whiteboarded for a couple hours and then did everything I needed to do before I showed up here at 10 o'clock.
How much do you make doing what you're doing?
So I make enough to travel the world and hang out with the most awesome people in the world.
If you could give us a range of what enough is.
Let's say over 1 million, under $1 billion a year.
All right, that's good. Over $1 million then.
Yeah.
Okay. And my last question is, what's your favorite thing about what you do?
The favorite thing about what I do is having the freedom. So I define success as doing what you want, when you want, with whom you want. And so I'm very successful, so I have the freedom to do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.